Once upon a time, back before America was America, hemp flourished across our land. And just like people have for thousands of years, early American settlers used hemp for food, medicine, rope, clothing, and more. In fact, it was so important to our young country, every farm had to grow it or pay a penalty tax. And the sustainability and economic power of hemp make big fans and growers of a couple of people you may have heard of, George Washington and Thomas Jefferson. In fact, the first 5 presidents were all hemp farmers. To our founding fathers, hemp was not only as good as money, it was money, as it became an acceptable legal tender during colonial times. You could even pay your taxes with hemp. There's no question that America was built on hemp. Guess what the Declaration of Independence was drafted on? Hemp paper. Hemp also powered early American ships, clothed and sheltered American soldiers, and eventually provided the fabric for the first blue jeans and the body and fuel for one of Henry Ford's cars. You can't get any more American than that. Can you believe that in spite of all hemp did for America, it would later be banished for a crime it didn't commit? Want to know why? 2 words: pot and politics. In the early 1800s, Mexican farmers brought marijuana to the United States. Hemp and marijuana, you see, are related and visually identical, but hemp doesn't have the psychoactive properties that marijuana does. Yet, they were both lumped into the same controlled substance category. We call that guilt by association. So under the 1937 Marijuana Tax Act, hemp farmers were forced to register their hemp crops with the federal government and purchase a very expensive tax stamp. As a result, consumers and farmers had no choice but to find cheaper alternatives to hemp. When they did, hemp all but vanished from the American landscape. But just a few years later, World War II forced the federal government to change their tune about the crop. The U.S. military suddenly needed to make parachutes, uniforms, tarps, rope for ships, and other items necessary for war. Without any hemp crops, the United States was at a severe disadvantage. Lucky for us, hemp didn't hold a grudge. America started the Hemp for Victory program, and the ban on hemp was lifted. The government urged farmers to grow hemp again, and even paid them to grow it. So hemp was back to stay, right? Wrong. After the war, hemp was still a threat to the paper, textile, and plastic industries, so greedy industrialists lobbied hard against hemp production and succeeded in outlawing it once again. It seemed hemp was doomed forever. To add insult to injury, fast forward to 1970. Under the Controlled Substances Act, hemp was even classified as marijuana despite proof that it's not. This misrepresentation of hemp continues to this day. But the good news is, the smoke is clearing. Hemp is back growing on American soil, and people are rediscovering the many benefits of hemp. But there's a lot of work to do. During hemp's years of exile from America, many countries around the world allowed their farmers and their citizens to grow and use hemp. We've been missing out, but not anymore. Here at Founders Hemp, we're dedicated to reintroducing hemp to the United States. Our goal is to innovate and educate about an industry that's been so intertwined with American history. We invite you to join us in paying homage to our founding fathers and farmers by making hemp an American tradition again.